Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, Geeky Sparkles, sitting this video out. We're going to talk about CBS News, and is it Tony Dokoupil? He said, "Don't trust me, bro. Make me earn it." This is a very refreshing change of pace, isn't it? Because for the longest time, we were supposed to trust everything journalists said without question. Even if they were pulling it out of their asses, and a lot of them were. Even if they were biased, and most of them are. We were supposed to just trust what they said. And this could be, as Pet Lover over on X said, this could be the Barry Weiss effect. This could be Barry Weiss coming in and cleaning house and saying, you know what, this is who we are now, and you're not going to lie to people anymore. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because look, as long as money changes hands, as long as there's power at stake, journos are going to lie. They are. But once upon a time, CBS News was pretty trustworthy, right? They were kind of the gold standard, and then they really fell off. So many of these journalists fell off. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about why nobody trusts the news anymore. And this is all related, guys. This was coming from The Wrap. They said that newsrooms are having to pivot. And I'm like, well, you're having to pivot because nobody's reading your shit. They're not reading your shit because they don't trust you because they think you're full of shit. I'm just saying. That's what's going on here. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. We are absolutely positively full of shit, but we try to be entertaining. So there we go. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. So yeah, I got to give a hat tip to Pet Lover here. Said, hey, is this the Barry Weiss effect? And we're going to take a look at this Tony Dokoupil video, and pretty interesting stuff. Let's make this big here, and let's see what Tony has to say from CBS News.
A lot has changed since the first person sat in this chair, but for me, the biggest difference is people do not trust us like they used to.
No shit.
And it's not just us, it's all of legacy media.
Yep.
And I get it. I get it because I've been hearing about it from just about everybody for more than 20 years as I've traveled America on this assignment or that. My mom's neighbors in West Virginia, my own neighbors in New York City, thousands and thousands of conversations in between.
Why do you think everybody is turning off the mainstream media and going out to podcasts? Why do you think they're coming for podcasts now? This is what's so disgusting about it, is people rejected legacy media. They rejected the mainstream news. They went out and they found podcasters and other voices on Substack. That's where Barry Weiss went to. And they found all these other voices, YouTube. And now all these people are coming for alternative platforms too. They're all coming over here, and we don't want them here, right? People came over here to YouTube, especially. YouTube's trying to chase Hollywood now, but people came over here to get away from you. And here you come, like an abusive spouse or something. It's like, I'm going to the hotel. I don't want to see you for a couple of days, and the person comes to the hotel anyway and harasses them and trashes the room. And that's kind of what's going on. So no, I don't think the legacy media is ever going to be fully trusted again. We'll see.
Sometimes people want to talk to me about our coverage of NAFTA or the Iraq War. Other times it's all about Hillary Clinton's emails or Russiagate. Or more recently, COVID lockdowns, Hunter Biden's laptop, or the president's fitness for office. The point is, on too many stories, the press has missed the story.
No, they didn't miss the story. I'm going to disagree with him here. They didn't miss the story. They changed the facts presented to the public to push a narrative. They already decided what the truth was, their truth. They decided what their truth was, and they changed facts presented to the public, or they were very selective about those facts to coerce the public into believing a certain agenda or certain thing, even if it wasn't true, even if they knew it wasn't true, right? And you have to ask yourself why. Whose request? Who paid you, right? The pharmaceutical companies? The super PACs? Who paid you? Who paid you off? And that's really what I think is the real story here. It wasn't just like, whoopsie doopsie, we missed it. No, they didn't miss it. They knew full well what they were doing, and they went above and beyond to try to censor people who, and this is, they're working in collusion with The social media platforms, they tried to censor people that wanted to get to the truth of the story. They wanted to know what was actually going on. You weren't allowed to talk about it. You weren't allowed to talk about it at all. So this was widespread disinformation. This was malicious. This was intentional. This was about deceiving the public on many, many issues for years. So no, if nobody trusts you, if nobody trusts you there, Tony, you have no one to blame but yourselves, right? Not him in particular, but journalists.
Because we've taken into account the perspective of advocates and not the average American. Or we put too much weight in the analysis of academics or elites and not enough on you. And I know this because...
Okay, so again, the abusive spouse analogy. Sorry I beat you, honey, but I'll be good this time. I'm not going to beat you again. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wouldn't let you talk to your family. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry I'd said all those horrible things to you. I'm sorry I threw a beer bottle at your head last night. I'm so sorry. I won't do it again. And then the very next week it happens again. Look, the reason they're sorry now, and I'm not trying to single this guy out. He might fully believe this, right? He might fully believe this. But the reason people aren't believing you, the reason that people are turning away from you is because they were lied to for years by so many of you, almost all of you. And it was in lockstep, right? So good luck trying to get the public to believe you now. And the only reason they're doing this now, profit, advertising revenue. People aren't watching. They're tuning out. People on both sides of the aisle. It's not just a Republican thing. There's so many people I know that I'm aware what their politics are, and they're not watching MSN or whatever anymore either. They're tired of it. They're tired of it because you always have to second guess what the motivation is behind the story. And it's always an angle, right? It's like we're gonna run this story because we're trying to get this person because of XYZ reason, whether it's one of our advertisers or a political adversary, or we want access to the White House, or you know what I'm saying? And people on both sides are tuning out. I think just in general, people aren't watching the news like they used to. Plus, it's depressing as fuck. The news is depressing. You know, it's polarized. It's like watching sports. You're rooting for your team. You don't really give a shit about, who the better players are. You're rooting for your team, and you're throwing vitriol at people rooting for the other team. And it's very polarizing. I think the news and social media has done so much to destroy us as a people over the last 8 years, 10 years. And again, it was willful. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't an oopsie-doopsie. This was willful. They chose to deceive you, right? So it's going to be very hard to earn that trust back. That's all I'm saying. Good luck with that, Tony.
Because at certain points, I have been you. I have felt this way too. I felt like what I was seeing and hearing on the news didn't reflect what I was seeing and hearing in my own life. And that most urgent questions simply weren't being asked.
They weren't allowed to be asked, Tony. I remember at the beginning of COVID, you weren't even allowed to mention COVID on YouTube, or you get demonetized and possibly shadow banned. You weren't allowed to acknowledge the existence of a global pandemic. You weren't allowed to acknowledge where it most likely came from and where we believe it came from at the time, or you were a racist. Sony pulled out of a convention. I think it was PAX East. They pulled out of a video game convention because of COVID. Early on, it was 2020, March or whatever, April, when it first started. And all the video game journos in lockstep called them racist. Sony, a Japanese company, you said they're racist against Asian people. Because, well, people think that it came from China and they must be racist. Yeah. So they're real sorry now because the advertisers left and they went to like Joe Rogan and stuff. That's what's going on here.
So here's my promise to you. Today and every time you see me in this chair, you come first. Not advertisers, not politicians,
all right, prove it.
Not corporate interests. And yes, that does include the corporate owners of CBS.
Well, I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even going to touch that one. Because at the end of the day, they sign your checks. So the only way you're going to be truly free to say whatever you want as if you go out on your own, which is scary. It is. But Tony might find out that he's going to have to play ball if he wants to keep his job. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's how it works.
I report for you.
No.
Which means I tell you what I know, when I know it, and how I know it. And when I get it wrong, I'll tell you that too. It also means I'm going to talk to everybody and hold everyone in public life to the very same standard.
Will you really? I'm just saying, I mean, this sounds good. This sounds like what someone would want to hear. Please come back. I promise I won't beat you again. But the truth is that I think that trust has been forever broken. We're over the mainstream media. I don't know if there is any salvaging it. Even if you've got the most honest reporters in the world with the best of intentions, I don't know if there's any salvaging it. I'm gonna be real with you.
After all, I became a journalist to talk to people. I love talking to people about what works in this country, what doesn't, and not only what should change, but the good ideas that should never change. I think telling the truth is one of them. I'm Tony Dokoupil, the anchor of the CBS Evening News. Hold me to it.
Okay. Oh, dude, be careful. Be careful what you wish for. And they went and they put it out on their website too. This is who we are now. Again, he might have good intentions. I don't believe that he's going to be allowed to do this. Not in current year. So let's go out to the wrap. How some newsrooms are defying the industry odds. Even as layoffs ravage newspapers, magazines, and TV networks in 2025, journalism leaders reveal why they're bullish about the future. They said, despite the sobering conclusion of last year, they said America's information ecosystem is broken, deeply polluted, and increasingly dangerous. The Axios CEO. He told The Wrap that actually going into next year, probably the most bullish I've been for high-end media in 5 years. They get some venture capital or what? The numbers suggest otherwise, though. Sweeping layoffs throughout the broader media industry reached new heights in 2025. Yeah, we talked about that. The media industry, measured by television, news, film, and streaming, announced 17,000 job cuts this year, up 18% from last year. It felt like no one is immune. Throughout 2025, the Wrap Chronicle cuts out legacy newspapers like the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, Chicago Tribune, People, Penske Media, Condé Nast, Vox Media, Business Insider, CNN, CBS News, NBC News. The slashing of jobs reflects a years-long crisis gripping the media industry, in particular news, as it faces challenges stemming from shifting consumption habits toward creator-led programs. Yes, again, this is why everybody's turning off the nightly news and they're turning on the podcasts. This is why Joe Rogan got so big. They don't understand it. Now they're all trying to come over to YouTube and they're all trying to come over to Spotify and they're all trying to take over because they think if they go to the platform, they'll find that audience again. But I don't think the audience is going to trust them. I think they're going to look at who's producing the show and they'll be like, oh, you're from MSN, you're from Fox, depending on who you like and who you don't like, right? I'm not going to listen to you. You're from NPR. How the hell can you afford to produce a podcast? Because you're not getting any more government handouts, right? And I think that was a big part of it too. The government handouts ended, but that's why they were kissing ass, because they were getting paid by the government to spread propaganda. And some people would argue that's still continuing today. I think there are always forces at play that want to keep the truth from coming out, regardless of who's in the office, right? And there are always advertisers that don't want any negative headlines. I know how the game is played. I actually started out as a newspaper reporter, and I was an editor until, my late 20s. So I know how the game is played. I mean, we've had to kill stories before because the advertiser didn't like it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're going to be honest is if you are independent. That's it. But this change has forced some journalists to figure out which options remain in a beleaguered industry and how best to serve audiences as attention spans have splintered. It's not just attention span. It's not just the attention span. It's where the growth resides. They said as many of the nation's top newsrooms retreat, a collection of outlets found ways to expand. So Politico expanded. They said they produced empathetic and brutally honest reporting on Congress and Washington. They're talking about Bloomberg, Politico, Miami Herald, Fox News. I don't think they're going to talk about Fox News. Fox News blew up. And, it's just, it's technology too. Like, you can get better news. You can get more accurate reporting from Twitter or X, from Facebook. I know locally the news hits Facebook before it hits the newspaper. It hits the newspaper like 2 days after the fact, right? And it's just like nobody trusts you anymore. So this is the Axios guy. He said he had to cut 19 people last year. He acknowledged the painful and awful reality of those layoffs, but he said the media companies needed to adapt quickly if they wanted to be able to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. And they're like, oh, AI is coming for our jobs and blah, 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 blah. Look, the reason people tuned out in the first place, because the layoffs happened before AI. They left you for creators, for podcasters who weren't abusive, who didn't lie to them. Or at least didn't lie to them as much, right? That's what's going on. So good luck with that, Tony. We'll see how it works out for him. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.